Let's spend some time today talking about formatting for Essay 1. Remember, there is no vocabulary unit this week, so no quiz on Friday. Your primary objective is to create a formative draft that you'll submit to me tomorrow, and then work on a summative draft that is due in Moodle by midnight on Sunday. So I want to spend just a moment talking about MLA formatting. So if you go to the Purdue Online Writing Lab and look at MLA general format, it gives you a general description of what paper format should look like, and then it gives you an example. So I want to walk you through that process of setting up the document. So I would recommend that you actually open up your Google Drive right now and begin the document itself. If you haven't done so already, I would recommend that in your Google Drive, you create a folder that's called English 111, and then within inside that folder, create units. So we're still in Unit 1, Description and Narration. It just makes it easier to be organized and find the work that you're doing. And so once you go inside that folder, create the new document, it's going to place it inside that folder. And then let's give it a title. All right, so some general steps to do to get this document set up. Very first thing is change it to Times New Roman 12 point. And so you want everything in this document to be the same kind of font. I don't want Arial, I don't want Comic Sans or Fragilla 1. I want Times New Roman 12 point. I don't want 11.5 or 13 or 14. I want 12 point font. So the very first thing you're going to do then is put some text there, but let's also change it to double spaced. So line spacing should be double. There should be no extra spaces before or after the paragraph. All right, so that gets the formatting taken care of. Double space, Times New Roman 12. The very first thing will be your name. So put your first and last name there at the very beginning. So I'll actually use a name here and then hit enter. Second line will be my name. Third line is the name of the course. This is 111 and you are section 54. And then the fourth line will be the date that the paper is actually due in inverted order with no comma. So it's due on September 12th. So we'll put 12 September 2021 with no commas. And then on the next line, we're going to put the title of the essay. Come up here to where it says align, and we want to choose center align. And then once we get to the next line, we want to go back to align and choose left align. Now, when we begin that paragraph, we want to hit tab to get the indent. And you'll begin typing your essay. One other thing before we move on from formatting, we want to insert page numbers. So go to Insert, Page Numbers, and you want to select the one that has the page numbers in the upper right-hand corner. That's going to open up the footer for you, and it's going to insert a 1 on page 1. Move your cursor in front of that and type your last name and a space. Then highlight that whole thing, and we're going to need to change that from the default font to Times New Roman 12 so that it matches the body of the paragraph of the essay. Then when you click back into your essay, you're going to see that that's in the header. And so what happens then, if you insert the page numbers correctly, when you get to page 2, you've got a page to number 2, and you get to page 3, you've got a 3. If you just put a 1 in the header, it's going to put a 1 on page 1, a 1 on page 2, and a 1 on page 3, and we don't want that. Okay, so that's what the format of your paper should look like. Once you are ready to submit the draft, the formative draft, and remember, I do not record scores for formatives. It's just for feedback. You're going to share that to me at my Cumberland County address. So share it to jason.dodson@cumberland.kyschools.us. So long as you get that to me by the end of the day, and by the end of the day, I mean midnight on Wednesday, I'm going to have enough time on Thursday and Friday to give you some feedback. So I'll go into the essay, I'll make some comments, I'll read it, I'll tell you if you've got major problems that you need to rethink, restructure, what have you. I can get that turned around by Friday. Now, if you submit it to me Friday at midnight, there's no guarantee that I can get in there and look at that before you have your deadline. So Wednesday midnight, that's the deadline for the summative assessment. So share the rough draft, the formative draft in Google with me. By Sunday night at midnight, you need to log into Moodle, find the assignment for this week, and submit it there. So if you're doing this in Google Docs, you'll need to go to File, Download, and you can either do a Microsoft Word document or a PDF. Either will work. Download that to your computer, go into Moodle, choose the file to upload, and upload that version to the summative draft. It does a couple of different things there. It's going to submit it to Turnitin for plagiarism detection, and it's going to give you kind of a grammar review to let you know where you are in terms of grammar, usage, and mechanics. So for Essay 1, your topics are in Moodle. I posted that on Friday for this week's assignment. You're writing a descriptive narrative. So we're thinking about all that we've learned from the model essays, including things like using present tense narration to narrate a past event, using sentence fragments where appropriate, using a short paragraph for emphasis, having a multi-paragraph introduction, having an implied thesis statement, using elevated diction, syntax, and tone to create an overall message or theme, using symbolism, incorporating irony, all of those things we've talked about in the essays. This is your chance to show me that you understand how to employ that as a writer. This is your first opportunity to show me that you're moving from a proficient writer to an effective writer. And so in this process, when you do that formative draft, that's where I'm going to be able to give you the feedback and give you the guidance that you need. I can't overemphasize how important it is that you do the formative draft. If you just turn in a summative draft, I'll give you a score, but that's the score you get. So make sure that if you want to get the best possible grade, that you give me a formative draft early. It needs to be 750 words by the summative draft. If on your formative draft you're a little bit short of 750 words, it's no big deal. It just means you don't get the benefit of my feedback for the entire essay. So get as much done as you can by the end of the day on Wednesday to submit that to me, and then work on making the revisions and the edits on Thursday and Friday. So Essay 1 is the only assignment for this week because I want you to spend time getting this right. I want it to be a good grade for you. It is the first 100-point grade that you're going to have for this semester. So make sure that you do a good job with it. If you have questions or if you need help with topic selection, feel free to send me an email. I'll try to get back with you as soon as possible.